What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got some Destiny 2 news in the form of This Week at Bungie. And off the bat it's worth saying this isn't an absolutely massive twab this week, but there are a couple of notable updates. And firstly, Bungie talk about zone control, and for trials we're going to see the zone capture variant this week. And they have some other clarifications about how that stuff works. Additionally, they highlight some resolved issues from the patch this week, as well as an airborne effectiveness issue, where some exotic armor pieces aren't granting the advertised airborne effectiveness stat correctly. Plus they talk about Pride at Bungie, a new emblem, and a few other things which we'll touch on in the video. So, as always guys, I hope you find this one useful, but without further delay, let's get into it. And they say this week at Bungie, Zones. It's another exciting week in the world of Destiny. The story continues to play out through the Sever missions, and it's been fun to watch the community experience that story as it unfolds week over week. They point out that we have our first shot at earning the Horror's Least Pulse Rifle in the Nightfall this week, although, unfortunately, some of those drops in there are actually for the Sunset version of the Horror's Least Pulse Rifle. That's an issue they're tracking. And they also point out this is our first week with Solar 3.0 and Mayhem. But next they speak about controlling zones, and they say control is a staple mode in the Crucible. And as we teased in a previous twab, zone control will become available in Crucible Labs starting next week. It's going to then stick around for the rest of the season of the Haunted, except for during Iron Banner. And some of you may remember zone control from back in the OG Destiny timeframe. This is a more traditional objective mode where the only way to score points is to control the zones. And they say there are a few things worth knowing before you jump in. And so stacking players on the zones is going to capture them far quicker than trying to do so on your own. It can also be a little easier to slip one player behind enemy lines to try and take a zone, but they're going to have to pull some heroics for longer periods of time. And controlling an area and being able to safely gather 3 or more Guardians is the most efficient way to cap a zone. And so capture times for one Guardian is 22.5 seconds, for 2 Guardians it's 10 seconds, and 3+ Guardians it is 7.5 seconds. Of course those seconds can be important in the heat of a Crucible match, and they say the initial capture is going to give you 1 point, and you will get 2 points for every 15 seconds that you hold the zone after that. The first team to 125 points will win, and if a team falls too far behind, and we detect that even if they held 2 zones for the rest of the match they wouldn't get enough points to catch up, a mercy rule will come into effect. And so we'll be getting that mode in Destiny 2 next week. It'll be interesting to see how that potentially mixes things up a little bit. It was definitely a mode I enjoyed in D1, so give us your thoughts below. But they say, speaking of controlling zones, tomorrow Trials of Osiris will feature the zone capture variant, and it will also be a Trials rank bonus weekend, so jump in and make Saint 14 proud. And so let us know if you were jumping in for the second Trials week of the season down in the comments section. Next, there are a couple of other quick updates, and one of them is about airborne effectiveness, and they say, we're currently investigating an issue where some exotics are not granting the advertised airborne effectiveness stat correctly when equipped, and the affected exotic armor pieces are as follows. So Sealed Ahamkara Grasps, as well as Lion Rampant, the Peacekeepers, Peregrine Greaves, and Wings of Sacred Dawn. And they say this is working correctly, but doesn't state in the description that the bonus is active only when the Tone of Dawn aspect is equipped. So bear that in mind, and of course that will only further contribute to any issues with airborne effectiveness at the moment. I would imagine as well that we're going to get more conversation and updates on that in the near future. There's definitely been a lot of feedback about the introduction of that airborne effectiveness stat this season, and really it's a weird amalgamation of things, including Bungie being able to communicate that and precisely how it works, especially since it isn't displayed fully in game in terms of stats, but also some of the negative effects that it's having on weapon performance. Yeah, it definitely doesn't quite feel like it should at the moment, although some Bungie developers have indicated as well that airborne effectiveness is something that they're going to continue to tune and create more ways to build into. So while it is problematic, definitely it's going to be updated in the future, but give us your thoughts below. They also point out for GCX Emblem distribution, for players who donated towards the celebration, they should expect all donation emblems to be distributed around the week of June 27th. And then we have known issues, and these are some of the newest ones that have been reported. So they say, please note that the flawless Thoughtstealer Triumph requires players to complete all encounters in the Duality Dungeon without any members of the fireteam dying, but also that the Tears of Contrition Scout Rifle displays the incorrect magazine options when shaping the weapon at the relic, and upon shaping it, it's displayed incorrectly. And then the Without Remorse shotgun does not appear in collections. The Conflux Legend Lost Sector requires the Rift to Legend Lost Sector to be unlocked, and that the Leviathan Destination Weekly Challenge does not progress for some players, And finally, certain weapon damage buffs are not functioning correctly in PvP, including the Will Given Form buff from the Aegis Scepter Catalyst. And so a few issues to bear in mind right there. The next Bungie say they're back with the next installment of the Pride Strike team. And they say back in the before times, Bungie sponsored the Seattle Pride Parade several years in a row, starting in 2017. And they say this would have continued into 2020, but the parade was cancelled with the start of the pandemic. They point out that Bungie released its first Pride Inclusion, Diversity and Equality pin, plus the various other initiatives that they've launched since. And there's an emblem right there that can be claimed via Bungie rewards as well. But so if you want to support Bungie in their initiatives, that's something you can check out via the twab linked below. And they also say, summing up everything we've made as of May 31st, 2022, from the Pride pin they've raised just shy of $480,000, thanks to the efforts of the team to create the initiative, as well as the support from the community. So pretty cool that the community's been able to be supportive with that right there. And if you want to check out some of Bungie's current initiatives, there's some info linked in the twab, which I'll drop in the description box below. To finish up right here though, quick reminder, Bungie helped tweeted that they fixed problems where the Master Raid challenges for Vault of Glass were not active, and players should now be able to complete all of the Master challenges. So if you are jumping back into Vault of Glass, especially with the rotation this week, all of that stuff should be accessible. DMG had also confirmed that they're looking to fix the anti-barrier sidearm mod, but it's not going to be until an update that we'll see on the 28th of June, so another couple of weeks until that one gets updated. And I'm sure there'll be plenty of other fixes for Bungie to highlight then as well. Something else cool some of you guys may be interested to check out, but Bungie posted an artist spotlight with a bunch of the artist's work, concepts and renders for various bits of Destiny 2 content. So that includes Starhorse, Witch Queen and Season of the Risen stuff, plus some event bits right there, and you can see some of the images that they posted. And they've also got links to the various ArtStation profiles for those folks, where you can take a look at their other work. So I thought that would be something else interesting to point out, as well as another technical blog from Bungie. So they've been doing these kind of blog posts with developers, and they talk about different disciplines and some of the work that they've done. And this time we get a Destiny 2 audio blog post. So of course they talk about sound design and some of the music stuff. Definitely worth taking a look at. So that is also linked in the description box down below. And for today, guys, that is what we have to round up inside of this video. Another quick mention here, but if you guys are after tasty performance gaming drinks, be sure to check out our partners at Gamer Supps, as they've got some really tasty drinks that give a kick of caffeine and improve focus while we're gaming, but are also sugar-free. And if you use code Houndish in the store, you can get 10% off your orders. Plus there's some more information about Gamer Supps in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. Otherwise though, for now, as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I hope you all have an awesome day.